Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Juice Radio and
Hello.
Talk Show. We're glad to have you.
Glad to have
Yes.
y'all. Glad to have my team back with me on this 90 Day Fiance recap on Monday. And I hope Regina is enjoying her vacation time. It's well needed, and I hope that we do a good job tonight with the whole team. But Regina, I hope you're enjoying your vacation time, and we're gonna do our recap as always.
And
Yes,
everybody,
absolutely.
remember to subscribe to the Juice Radio and Talk Show.
Yes, we do. We're
Please.
gonna we're gonna we're gonna subscribe to her, and we're gonna make Regina proud tonight.
Absolutely. So, Dustin, which couple are we starting off with tonight?
We're gonna start off with Rob and Sophia.
Awesome. Awesome. What are your thoughts on what happened this episode? Erin's already got her reaction going. Dustin, how'd you think they went this episode?
Well, I think the part that I didn't specifically agree with is when they were sitting in this building and they were putting trying to take his uh, Sophia said that something about she didn't like what he was wearing, and he was so Sophia was wearing this dress, and I just they didn't like well she didn't like what he was wearing, but he liked what she was wearing. So I didn't. What did you think about that part, Jonathan? When they was in that when they was in that store trying to shop for clothes for her, and they didn't the dressing the shopping part where they didn't like that part so far.
Y'all have to forgive me, but I'm eating on a muffin that my mama made, so I'm good. But if for anyone who knows me, y'all would know the part that stuck out to me the most. The
Oh,
second that
Yeah,
Rob,
I
yeah.
do,
know.
do y'all do y'all want to guess? Go ahead and guess.
Oh, let me guess, because I said it last night. As soon as this aired, I went, this is Jonathan Fart. Because he
Yeah.
comes out in that just string, basically, two
That green,
Right.
strings on
that
his
green.
thing. And I was like, Jonathan is so happy in this moment. I
Of
know.
course, of course. But
Yeah.
that was one part of it. But the other part that made my eyes bulge is when he grabbed the jock strap. Because I love to see a man in a jock strap, honey. And so I would child, I had a feeling that he wouldn't be okay with wearing that because he doesn't seem like the type to wear that. Typically footballers would wear that as far as heterosexual men are concerned, but
Yes.
us gays are known for sporting a jockstrap. So I
Yeah.
definitely would have loved to see him in the jockstrap, but I didn't expect him to wear it. But as far
No.
as
No.
Sophie and the outfit that she came out in,
Mhm.
and she wasn't happy with his reaction.
Mhm.
Rob really doesn't show that he's attracted to Sophie necessarily. And that's the issue that Sophie is having, that Sophie doesn't feel like Rob wants her. He's not making it obvious that he really wants to be with her. And Rob thinks that it's an already foregone conclusion that she's an attractive woman, and he doesn't feel like he needs to make the effort to tell her that. But a lot of times, especially for those who may have some insecurities, I believe Sophie might have had some plastic surgery in the past. I mean, at least
I think she. I think
she
she did have.
looks right.
Yeah.
I think
I
so
think she
too,
did have.
Dustin.
I think
I
so too.
can't hear both of you, Dustin.
I think she might have had some plastic surgery, and that might bring up some insecurities in someone. So Sophie has clearly made it obvious to Rob over and over again that you do not tell me how good I look to you, so it makes me feel as though you don't want me. Even though yes, you married me, you walked down the aisle with me. However, if you're not at least sometimes from time to time telling me, oh, you look good today, like Rob doesn't see that as something that he needs to do, but in a relationship you like to hear that and when Sophie came out in the outfit and Rob just had no reaction whatsoever, we literally came here for us to try on costumes, and for you to not have any reaction whatsoever to what you picked out for me to wear, it's like I'm not enough, and Sophie doesn't feel like she's enough for Rob, and that is a clear issue with them. I also feel as though Rob is very unaware. um he's unaware of his actions and how they have an effect on the people that are in his life. And it's like people can tell you all they want to what you're doing wrong, but if you don't make the effort to fix those things, then it makes it seem as though you're either unaware or you don't care. And I want to lean on the side of that he's just unaware and he just refuses to see it. But at the same time, Sophie constantly tells him the things that are wrong in their relationship, and he just refuses to fix them.
Yeah.
So, I'm really conflicted with Rob because I want to say that he's unaware, but Sophie tells him over and over and over again all the things that he does wrong. And I think the issue is Rob doesn't see anything wrong with it. And so when he doesn't see anything wrong with it, he sees no point in trying to fix it. So they're just at a crossroads where they really can't move forward until Rob actually makes the effort to fix what is wrong with their relationship. And I really wish that Rob felt as though that was important enough to keep them together. I think he feels as though Sophie will never leave him. And that, he feels like I've done all this in the past and she hasn't left me before. So if I keep on doing it, then, she ain't never going to leave me. So I think that's what Rob's uh, train of thought is in the process, is that if she hasn't left me yet, then who's to say that she's going to leave me in the future? Because all I have to do is give her a little bit of an apology, maybe tell her that she looks good and we'll be good the next day. But I really wish that Rob would show that he cares, much like I want Gino to show Jasmine that he cares, even though Jasmine really doesn't see that as him not caring. That's what I see personally. And so I wish Rob would do that same thing. Show Sophie that you care. And he feels like he doesn't have to make the effort. But you have to make the effort when you're in a relationship.
I think they have to make the effort as well. I think they do have to make the effort in order for the marriage to last, because they don't think, the marriage ain't going to last if they don't make the effort to improve the marriage. And I say this a lot on this show, and it's the truth. Man, I think that's how I feel about it, because Jasmine and Gino, I don't think that he typically realizes that she doesn't want to have a baby right now. She's not specifically shutting him down. She just wants to put it on a pause right now. But I think that she's getting to the age where if they do try to have a baby, it's going to be a hard time, because you have a certain age to where you can't specifically get pregnant at a certain when you get older, and
Right.
sometimes it's too late in the process. That's just my opinion.
Right. But I don't know if it's just me, but when they showed the scene of Rob's other phone, or his whole phone as we called it, was ringing, is it just me, or did Rob say that wasn't his phone when they had that footage going?
Rob
And
said
then
it.
in this episode he said it
Okay.
was his phone. Did he
Yeah.
change on that?
Rob said
100%.
Rob said
Okay.
it wasn't. Rob said it wasn't his phone in the first time, but he said that in this episode he said it was the phone. So
Right.
which one is it, Rob? I think it was your phone in the first place, and you're just trying to
Exactly.
hide it.
Right. Go
I
ahead,
just want to
Aaron.
make sure we say hi to everybody in the chat. We have Lady Virgo,
Hey,
Hi, Lady
Virgo.
Virgo.
Robin,
Hi, Robin.
and
Hey,
I love
Robin.
Robin's comment to Jonathan. Ace Boone Coon. Hi, your hair is giving. I know that
Thank
was you because
you.
I just love your hair.
Thank you so much.
By
And
the way,
then
love your shirt, Jonathan.
Thank you. American
Yeah.
Eagle, where I used to
Thank
work back in the day. Yes.
Thank you.
nice. And then we got. I'm sorry if I mispronounce this. With Merit, Merete. It's so good. Thank you everybody for coming. Please remember to like this video.
Mm-hmm.
And my thoughts on Rob were, first, he totally lied because he said that wasn't his phone.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't know how to have his woman look good and give a compliment.
Right.
He was upset because she looked better than him. It wasn't anything but that. He just is jealous. When she came out and looked like hot stuff, because he was all proud and happy before that, and then she comes out looking better than him, and that's when he just got jealous. How are you not excited that your woman looks that good? That's your woman.
Right.
He don't know how to not be competing with her. And I wonder if he does this when the cameras aren't there, or is this
I agree with that.
He wants to look better on the camera than her right now.
He wants to look better on the camera, and I bet you when the cameras ain't around, he don't do that. That's just how I feel about that question.
And also, when they're fighting a lot. We've always seen them in contention. We've always seen them at each other's throats in all of their scenes and all of their episodes. And so it did not surprise me that Rob would ask her, "Is there someone else? Are you cheating on me?" That did not surprise me whatsoever. So I really didn't roll my eyes, because when you're always arguing, it makes it seem as though you literally don't want to make things work. But Rob, it's you are the one that needs to change things to make things work, because Sophie is literally doing nothing wrong at all. So that question would be valid if there was blame to divvy on both sides. But in this case, Rob, you are the issue. So it's really null and void for you to say, "Hey, are you cheating on me?" Because I understand why you might make that assumption, because you're always arguing, but you are the reason you guys are always arguing. So that doesn't fly here in this case.
I just thought it was a deflection. Anytime Rob is wrong, he has to twist it and deflect it back somehow.
Right.
And that was just, I won't say the word you put in there, Michelle, but yeah, he is. Rob is and I don't, I'm not going to read that.
I do agree. I do agree with what I do agree with what Jonathan said and Aaron said, but I don't think that I think that he needs to change. But you have to want to change, Jonathan. And if he don't want to change, then this marriage ain't gonna last. Because just like I told Aaron last night, I told her this ain't gonna last because she's miserable in my eyes, and she's miserable in my opinion. And as we know, we had an exclusive last week that she's gonna be on The Last Resort next season, and she's gonna be on there. So if they're on The Last Resort, we know it ain't working out, and this is miserable for me to even see her like this, because it's very sad in my opinion. You're supposed to work on a marriage for the long haul before you go and do all this. But he ain't gonna change, and I feel bad for her.
And I think the main reason Rob isn't going to change is because he sees nothing wrong with his actions. He sees absolutely nothing wrong. People can tell him all day that he's doing the wrong thing. People can say specifically what he's doing wrong. But because he doesn't see it as an issue, because he doesn't see it as a wrongdoing, he's not going to change anything. I don't think therapy is going to help. I don't know what will help him with that other than prayer. I don't know.
Nope. Nothing's going to help Rob, because Rob's a big old baby boy.
We're just going to continue. We're just going to continue to pray for Rob to change.
Right.
But we can all see, my team and I, we can all see that he ain't going to change. And I see it now. I see that he ain't going to change, and he's going to end up getting a divorce from Sophia. And I hope he does, because Sophia is so miserable, and she don't deserve to be treated like this. So thank you.
I'm sorry, Dustin, but I'm not praying for him to change. I'm just praying for Sophie to end up on the 90-day single life.
Me too. Me too.
I don't see him changing, so that'll be between him and God. But I can pray for her to find a better man. So
right.
Thank you, Michelle. Michelle told me to just say it, and then she agreed with Dustin. Michelle, the worst thing I'm going to say is the whole phone. So, and then Michelle also said, Rob just don't care, in my opinion. 100%.
He doesn't.
Lady Virgo said, Michelle, yeah, come on. Oh, hey, no, that's about me. No. Come on, just say it now. I gotta be more careful when I'm bringing up these comments.
Yeah, you gotta proofread them things, girl.
I should proofread these first. I just trust in my friends.
Okay.
Now they're just laughing at me in the chat.
So where are we going next, y'all?
We're going to Emily and Colby, because I have an exclusive. I don't know if anybody knows about this or not, but Emily's supposed to be pregnant with her third baby, and she's supposed to be due in a couple of weeks.
Oh wow, that's awesome news!
I didn't know that. I love them.
I hope that she has a happy and healthy delivery, and I hope that she's supposed to be due in a couple of weeks. So hopefully see her back on the 90-day happily ever after next season with all of her 3 kids. I seen her Instagram video posted that she posted a couple I don't. I seen it. I went past it. I walked past it today. So congratulations to Colby and Emily for the her third pregnancy, and hope she has a. I hope she has happy a happy and healthy delivery.
Absolutely. Dustin, what did you think of the conversation between the parents and the cousins concerning the whole tradition of the bride price and, him saying that she's now property and are there issues with the property word? Like, Dustin, what did
Well,
you think of that exchange?
well, let me tell you, Jonathan, that really upset me because
Mm,
that really upset me, and this is the reason why. Yes, I am very close to my friends, as you all know. I'm very close to you all, but
right,
that is not. I don't consider anybody my property.
right.
I consider I is my best friends. I love you guys all. I don't consider you guys my property. So why and that shouldn't be a difference when you get married. No, 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 no. I don't like that part. No, I don't like that part at all. As you can tell, I'm getting kind of upset right here because it upsets me to that level. Because you shouldn't tell anybody. For one, they're already married.
Right.
You shouldn't tell anybody to have a second wedding in another country, to have a broad prize, and they're gonna sit there and you're gonna call them a property. No, no, thank you, not at all. That don't sit right with me at all. No, thank you very much at all. No, that don't sit right with me at all, as you can tell.
Right. I honestly wanted to skip right past this conversation. I felt it was so cringy for me. I felt I felt
Very cringy. Very cringy.
I felt really uneasy about this conversation because I know for a fact that Emily's parents will never understand where
They won't sign
Kobe's
off on it because let me tell you, they don't agree with it because they wasn't raised like that, just like anybody else. I wasn't raised like that, so I don't agree with it either. But I kind of agree with Emily's parents because
right. And
why you're basically giving them money to say that you're basically giving Emily you're giving them money to say that that is now their property, and that's not right in my opinion.
right. And I don't feel like Emily's parents will ever understand their tradition, Kobe's family's tradition. Um, I feel as though they might have been able to understand it or receive it a little bit better if Kobe was the one that was explaining how it goes and explaining
Hmm.
the way that they see it in their tradition.
Yeah.
However, with that cousin who was explaining it to them, he was just straightforward, no filter. Is this, and this. And so of course, the wording sounds very problematic,
Hmm.
extremely problematic. Now, do I feel as though husbands in Cameroon see their wives as literal property? I don't feel as though they see their wives as literal property. I feel as though that's maybe just the wording that they used in the tradition back in the day.
Hmm.
I don't feel like, Cameroonian women who are married are combined and are slaves, because that's literally what property is. Property is a slave. And I
Hmm.
thought that word was going to be introduced into the conversation as well. I'm so glad that Emily's parents did not mention that word, because that would have been a grave issue for them if they did.
So,
But so I personally don't see any issues with the tradition and the way that it is said, because I don't feel as though they would implement those particular traditions in their marriage, because Kobe and
yeah.
Emily already have their thing going on. They have 2 kids
Yeah.
already, about to be 3.
Yeah.
So I don't think that type of tradition is going to change the way that they operate in their marriage. So
Yeah.
I really wish that the parents of Emily would understand that this is just tradition. This is just a formality. It doesn't mean that Kobe is going to see Emily as property, because I don't think
Well,
there's anything that Kobe can do that could make Emily his property. And I think Kobe knows that for sure. And Emily is not going to hear that in any way, shape, or form. And I love the fact that Emily didn't protest it at all either, because I think Emily understands that it's just a formality, it's just tradition. They're not necessarily taking this word by word seriously that way.
uh-huh.
And I wish that Emily's parents could be more open minded and understand that it's really not a thing where it's written in a contract that Emily is her property. Like no. That's the slavery has been abolished for hundreds of years. So I wish that Emily's parents would just go along with it. I wish. Again, I understand property sounds really bad. I understand how bad it sounds. I really do get that, you guys. But for the sake of just making Kobe's family happy for this moment, because y'all not going to stay in Cameroon, y'all going back to the States after this is over. So just appease the family for now, make them feel good for now. You guys are already. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter at the end of the day, at least in my opinion. Aaron, what do you think?
Yeah, I actually did not take it the same way the mother did. First of all, because I think there is a language difference. They don't all speak English. So what we take as them saying property is just our translation.
Right.
So from what I read, because I did find this very interesting last week when we were discussing it, so I had to research it. And it really is just about her joining their family, and they'll take responsibility for her, from what I read.
Yes.
And I actually thought it was beautiful the way it was written, and I wish it had been described that way on the show. It's more like, she's our responsibility now. We're taking the responsibility from you, and we're going to take it on. When it comes to her burial, that's our responsibility now. It's not taking her from your family, but it's taking the responsibility that you had for her.
Right.
And we will take that on now. So I thought that was a much different way than I saw it explained on the show. So I wasn't offended by the show at all, because I wish the mother had done some of the research too. The father had done a lot on this. I wish they had gotten more into this part. And I think Colby didn't know how to explain it either. It's not like he's been married before. So I think sometimes, like even our wedding stuff, when I got married, I didn't know everything, because you don't until you're going through the process. He might know to his kids how to explain it better than he's knowing while he's doing it for the first time. So there was that. And
can I just say this real quick? I think that the dad understood it more than the mom did. The dad understood more. Now, because the dad did the research. Well, I think the mom should have done the research as her own self, because I think if she would have done her own research, I think maybe she could have understood it more herself. Just like I would do my research for the show every week, and plus when I watch the show, I can remember it, what happened, one day later. But I just do a lot of research, during the week, like the exclusive stuff, It's like Emily. I do a lot of research, and it pops up in my feeds, because I do the show and it pops up in my feed. So of course I do a lot of research. But I think the mother should have done her research before she kind of went off on the other side of the family.
Also, my second thought was more like what Kobe said. Kobe's been so overly trying to accept the American culture. They should have given the benefit of the doubt to Kobe himself and just been like, okay, if this is important to you, you've done so much for our family and compromised so much when you came to live with us. Let us compromise on this one and just have faith in you. I thought that.
And I also feel like Emily is of the same mindset that I am. Let's just do this for his family. Let's just make them happy in this moment, so that they have an official wedding for their family members, so that they're happy. Traditions be damned. I mean, it is what it is. This is their tradition. Let's just go along. Let's just go along to get along. Let's just do this. What's the issue? Nothing. There are no contracts. Nothing is written in stone. There's no blood oath. There's no seances. There's no crazy stuff. No, it's just tradition. So just go along to get along. And I think Emily's on that train. And I wish she would have a conversation with her parents to let her know her feelings about it, to maybe ease their suspicions.
100%. I agree with that.
I agree with that 100%. You nailed it on the head. So thank you very much.
Go ahead. Who are we going to next?
We're going to Ed and Liz, and I'm going to keep it nice and short with this couple, because I think when they broke up, I think it was the best, but I think it was sad for the daughter. I wish she wouldn't have brought her daughter into this, because it broke my heart to see her daughter like that. Yeah, and now her daughter's gonna have to live with that for the rest of her life. And I know it's gonna hurt because the stuff that I go through hurts, and my team knows it. What I go through, and it hurts, and it's probably gonna hurt for a long time. It's not nothing easy to go through when you had somebody in your life for a long time, and you have to hurry up and something happens like that, and you have to cut ties with him. Somebody like that. It's just a hard thing to deal with.
True that. True that. For some reason, I have a funny feeling that Liz's daughter knows what's going on, knows who her mother is, knows why she might have gotten with Ed, knows that her mother may not have had the best of intentions while getting with Ed. She didn't seem affected at all by the breakup, which told me that the daughter really wasn't invested in Ed in that way, really didn't see him as much of a father figure per se. He was just kind of like a buddy. You know what I'm saying? He said that they used to play games a lot of times and she would beat him a whole lot. So I'm so glad that Ed had that conversation with Liz's daughter.
Yeah.
And Liz's daughter took it very well. And I think it's not much of a good thing that Liz included her daughter into her storyline. But at the same time, I think her daughter is mature enough to be able to handle it. I think that showed in this particular episode. But I think Liz's daughter knows her mother. As young as she is, she's very mature for her age. She might get it from her father. She seems to be very mature for her age and very aware of what's going on. And I think she knows for sure why her mother got with Ed. And so to see Liz in the confessional crying, boo-hooing, it's like, are you upset because Ed left you, or are you upset because your meal ticket has gone out the window? Because it seems like that's the reason why you got in this relationship to begin with. And so, when you get into relationships with the wrong intentions, they tend not to work out in the best way in the end. So I'm so happy for Ed, though. I'm so glad that he's keeping his foot down. He's not changing on it. As Nene would say, I'm not changing on it. He's not changing on his decision. He knows this is the best decision for him at his age. He wants to look for love. I think Ed really wants to look for genuine love. And he knows that he was not going to get that from Liz. Liz was just there just for a check. This is at least in my opinion. This is my
Just
opinion,
for
all
the money.
alleged. I just feel like Liz was there to be on TV. Liz was there to gain a following. Liz was there to gain some type of celebrity. Liz was not there for love. And I really think that Ed is looking for love. I don't know if he was looking for love when he found Liz. But I think he saw where Liz was in their relationship and understood that at his age, his intentions are to be looking for love in all the right places. And Liz was the wrong place to look for love.
Yeah. Lady Virgo has this to say. I agree. I was sad with the look on the daughter's face when she told her she was not coming back. I think she's talking about Liz telling her she went back to the house. And Lady Virgo has a question for JoJo. But did you see the sadness on the little girl's face, though?
She looked a little disappointed, just for a second. But when they really got,
Yeah.
when her and Ed really got into that conversation, she seemed to be just fine with it. It seemed like she really didn't care that much, at least to me from what I saw. I didn't see that she was affected by the fact that Liz was not going to be with Ed anymore. I honestly really didn't see that too much. But I could have been wrong. Did anybody else see that?
I actually thought the little girl did look sad, but I thought it kind of a mixed thing. I thought she wasn't surprised that it
Mm-hmm.
was happening. I thought she genuinely had a bond with Ed. Maybe not a fatherly bond, but like it's a person in her life. He's leaving her life. She's sad about that. She's sad he's not going to be part of her life. She doesn't seem like she disagrees with the decision,
Mm-hmm.
but she's sad it's ending because she's not going to see Ed anymore. And she really maybe genuinely liked Ed as a person, like as a friend. And
Right.
she's sad that relationship will no longer be there. But she's not sad Ed and her mother won't be together.
Right. And to
I
be
think it
honest,
was like layered.
I did see a little bit of sadness when they were packing their things
Yeah.
before her
Yeah.
conversation with Ed. I did see it there a little bit, Lady Virgo. But once she got in that conversation with Ed, she seemed to be just fine to me.
I think Ed did make it more comfortable for her. I
Yes,
think Ed was like, "I still love you," and she said, "I love you, Ed," back, and it seemed genuine.
it did,
And
very much so.
I think she's happy her mother's not going to be in a bad relationship,
Right,
and she thinks it's a bad relationship for both of them. It looked like, but it doesn't mean she's not sad to not have a relationship with Ed. And I think she knows the relationship with Ed is probably done now. If
right.
and I really like Michelle goes, I really hope Liz is done with Ed. Ed, I disagree, Jonathan. Oh, okay. I don't know what she disagrees with, but let me know. Let
She
me
might
know,
disagree
Michelle.
with the fact that I think that Liz is not there for love. That might be what she's disagreeing on.
Okay. Ed is never looking for love. That's my opinion. And I did feel sorry for the daughter. I think we all felt sorry that she was in the situation in the first place.
Yeah, very much that, Aaron. In the
Yeah.
situation in the first place, Liz should not
Yeah.
included her daughter in her mess. Not at all. Especially when you know the tenor and timbre of your relationship, when you know how you guys
Yeah.
operate in your relationship, and you want to introduce your daughter into that. That's not a smart thing to do. At least not in my opinion. I don't have any kids, so I can't claim to say that I
Yeah.
know better. But to
Yeah.
me, if I'm in a volatile relationship, I would not want to include a younger person in our business.
That's true. Michelle had this to say: I don't see how anyone wants Ed. The way he treats women is horrible. He has not had a good record. I'm hoping that Ed leaving this relationship and being so mature about it is a sign that he's growing up. It may be later in life, but some people take a long time to learn a lesson. So I'm hopeful for him because I think even with the daughter, he was very mature in the way he's like, this isn't about you. I thought the way Ed went about it was very mature. And he didn't actually like throw her out of the house right away or anything like that. She still has her stuff in the house when she's going to LA. So
Right.
Ed is giving her time to move out. Yes, we'll see him start the push probably in the next couple of weeks, I think, in the show. But
Hmm.
I think Ed has matured. And Michelle said, yes, Jonathan, that's what I was disagreeing with.
Okay. No problem. And here's the thing: when I first saw the first episode with Ed on it, I liked Ed. I loved his personality. I thought he was a great guy. So maybe me seeing him now and not being able to see him prior
Yeah.
to the season has maybe altered my thinking a little bit, or maybe changed it from everyone else's, because everyone sees
Yeah.
him as one thing, but I only see him as what I've seen on this season. And I'm glad that you said that, Aaron, that he's matured, because he's acting very mature in this season, and I like seeing that. So for the most part, I still like Ed, and I'm still happy with the decisions that he's making during the season.
The next couple I'd like to go to is
Hi, Vicky.
sorry about that.
And
The next,
Vicky's in our chat. Hi, Vicky. Nice to see you.
hi
Hey,
Vicky. Hi
Vicky.
Vicky. The next couple
Well,
I would like to move on to is Mahmood and Nicole. I felt bad for Mahmood in this case. I felt bad for both of them in this case because I see where Nicole's coming from, and I also see where Mahmood's coming from, because he doesn't have a place to go, and I don't know where that's going to put him at, Jonathan. And if you have a different agreement, you can tell me. But I don't think I feel bad for both of them, because where's Mahmood going to go? And Nicole has a place to go, but I don't think Mahmood does. And she told Nicole told him that she wanted him out of there. Well, he wanted to get out of there anyway, but where's he going to go to? Because I thought he already left one time, and she heard him and went and got him because she didn't have no place to go. So what's the difference now in that? What's the difference now in that opinion?
yeah, I'm really searching for F's to give for Nicole, because I really don't. I don't at all. I feel nothing for Nicole. She's put herself in this situation. She's literally put herself in this situation. And the way that she's reacting to how Mahmoud has been since he's been to America, she has not treated him with respect from my standpoint. She's not the she's not being adaptable with Mahmoud. And Mahmoud hasn't even done much of anything wrong, at least not in my opinion. Yes, he's mentioned the fact that she's worn a dress with a hole in the back of it, and that was the crux of their issues in the first two episodes. But besides that, the way Nicole has been reacting to him and the way that she's been treating him, yes, she's been inebriated in some of these situations, but at the end of the day, this is still Nicole. So I'm loving the fact that Mahmoud has left. I love the fact that Mahmoud walked out. Nicole keeps asking him, why are you still here then? Well, that's a good question. Why am I still here? That's what Mahmoud said. I don't know why I'm here. Goodbye. So I'm so glad that Mahmoud has left the house. I'm hoping that this is the last time that we see Nicole and Mahmoud on this particular season, because I'm really not interested in seeing any other seasons with them unless it's just them separated. I don't want to see them together necessarily. I'm so upset that they actually got married, because divorce is not cheap and divorce is not an easy process. And divorce is a long process. And so I still have no idea why they ever got together to begin with. I feel extremely bad for Mahmoud. Like, I really want to give that man a hug, because I see him as a good man. I see him as a man who wants the best for himself and his partner. However, when your partner is not being nice to you, when your partner is not understanding where you're coming from, when your partner refuses to see your side of the situation, and only wants their side to be acknowledged and only wants their side to be the side that's right, I can't respect that whatsoever. So I don't care for Nicole whatsoever. I hope she can find love with someone who can be with her in the way that she is. There are men out there who will accept Nicole just as she is, and that's how we want to be accepted, just as we are. So I'm sure Nicole will be able to find. She's living in California, so there are plenty of men out there. So I'm sure she'll be able to find love there, and I hope that Mahmoud finds a woman who fits his standards, and will be able to fall in line with what he expects in a wife, because that's definitely not in Nicole whatsoever.
Yes, I do agree with that, Jonathan. I do. I feel bad for my mood. I feel bad for my mood more than I do Nicole, but I think that both of them is in the same. But Nicole put herself in this situation, just like you said, and that's the truth. And she's gonna have to get herself out of it. That's my opinion about that one couple. Uh,
And I also have to say, Mahmoud got himself in this situation too. So Mahmoud is not innocent in that. So he does have
mhm.
to take some of the blame for it as well. It's just that we're seeing the majority of the bad behavior. Hey, Bianca, the majority of the bad behavior, at least in my opinion, my personal opinion, seems to be coming from Nicole. So that's why
Nicole,
I'm
yeah,
harping more on Nicole
sure,
in this situation. But
sure.
Mahmoud, at the end of the day, still married the woman, knowing how
Hmm.
she is and knowing that she's really not being able to adapt to the way that Mahmoud wants to live. She's refusing to adapt to the way that Mahmoud wants to live. So it's still Mahmoud's fault at the end of the day that he married the woman. So he's got to take some
Well,
responsibility and
well,
accountability as
let,
well.
let me say this: a marriage is a lifelong work in progress. And when you just recently got married to him, when you just recently got married and they are on this season of the 90-day happily ever after, that they both need to they're not together anymore, which is the best for them. But I think that they kind of cut it short. But that's just my opinion on that couple. And yeah,
My opinion was okay. When Nicole wouldn't hand over her phone, that was a red flag. I could just see Jonathan with the flag waving,
Okay.
and because why wouldn't she hand over her phone? There's no reason to, if you're in a loving, committed relationship, you can't hand over your phone to your partner and be like, "Oh, did you need something from it?" Like I wouldn't even second guess handing my phone to any close friend. Nevertheless, my spouse could definitely have access to my phone. I never had like a password they didn't know or anything like that. That's your significant other. They should have access to stuff. That's your partner in life. It means your partner in your phone too. I'm sorry. No, maybe she didn't get the message.
Agreed.
Um, I can understand why she went out with friends and stuff like that. She needed to blow off steam. But when you blow off steam and you say you're coming home at a certain point and then you don't, it is disrespectful to the
Mhm.
even this is her husband, but it's disrespectful for anyone you're living with to be like, "Oh, I'm coming home," and then you don't for several hours. So I could see why he was upset and curious where she was. And then, yes, maybe in his mind, drunk, in her mind, just buzzed. But there
Right.
is, I didn't understand why she couldn't just give over the phone. She knew that
Right.
it would end the fight. And if she had nothing to hide, why not give it up? And hi, Elder. It's great
Hey,
to see you
Elder.
here. So I thank you, Michelle. That was my great point. You had the same great point I see in the chats too. So
Yeah. And I feel as though Nicole knew exactly why he was asking for the phone. So if you want to dispel his accusations, then show him the phone. But Nicole clearly had something to hide that she did not want Mahmoud to see. Because if there's nothing for him to see, you just hand over the phone. Oh, here you go, right there. There you go. Go look all through my text messages, look all through my web browser history, look through it all, because ain't nothing for you to see.
exactly.
Clearly, there was something to see. Clearly, Nicole would have been caught in the act if she had given him the phone. She knows why he wanted to see the phone, and she deliberately did not give it to him. You have something to hide. Clearly, if you have nothing to hide, you just show it. You just show it. Why didn't you just show it, girl? Like a
I'm going to say this real quickly. I think that Nicole allegedly is cheating with somebody else. That's just my opinion. There, what other reason did you not? What other reason did you have to not give him the phone? She had something planned, and I think that she was with somebody else allegedly, and she did he did she didn't want Mahmoud to know it, but she's sitting there saying, "Well, I didn't cheat on Mahmoud. Well, then show the proof because I think you did, and because why would you? Why else would you not want her to see your phone, especially when you're married to somebody?"
and to those who feel as though they're being tempted to cheat and they're in a bad relationship, it's best to just end the relationship or try to work on the relationship, because your partner finding out that you cheated on them while you were together is going to be much worse of a reaction than if you tell them that you don't think things are working out, and if you will be better as friends, or better taking some time apart. But it would not surprise me if Nicole was entertaining someone else. I won't say that she was necessarily
Yeah.
cheating, but I feel as though Nicole might have been entertaining someone else's conversation, and someone else's company. Don't think she would have necessarily had intercourse with anyone else, but I do feel as though she might have been entertaining someone else.
Yeah, I was wondering if the friend wasn't a female.
Mm,
And we know that would
Possibly,
bother him if
possibly.
she went out drinking with another man. Not that she was
right.
necessarily cheating, but maybe she went out to drinks with a friend that's a guy that he doesn't know. That would be upsetting in his culture. We know that, and that's what she's hiding. I thought it was just that simple, not overly blown, just a
Right.
simple. She knew he wouldn't like it. She lied about it being a female and it was a man, and that's just my theory.
And she knew what Mahmoud's reaction would be. And I think she knew that Mahmoud would probably leave her for real, if he saw that. But he left her anyway, so good for both of them.
Actually, we're not sure.
I would hope that that is the case.
We hope, but
I'm
actually, I think
praying
they
that
might
that
be
is the
together.
case. Oh Lord! I
They're
don't
still
want to see them on
together.
another season. That's for darn sure. I definitely don't want to see them on another season at all. At all. Maybe Mahmoud with another woman, but not with no Nicole.
I think they might still be together because we've
I
seen
hope
articles
not.
that they've had these big blow up things, but none of the articles actually say that I can find that they're actually not together.
Or separate,
So
or at least separated. They're
none
not
of
even
them say
separated.
none of them even say separated. So I am very curious for the tell all to find out if they are actually still together.
We
I
shall
don't
see,
think.
child.
I really don't think they're going to be, and that's what I hope for, because this marriage is
Oh,
this marriage is going to be it's already a miserable one in my eyes, and I'm not even there in the physical world. I'm just seeing it on the TV, and that's just my opinion. It's a miserable marriage, and it's not a good situation to be in. That's just what I'm going to say to that question.
Michelle does have an update for us. Michelle said they are not together. He is back in his country, so he's back in Egypt. Okay, thank
Gotcha.
you so
Thank
much,
you.
Michelle, for
Thank you,
clearing that
Michelle.
up.
Is there
I
another
love
couple
our
to
group.
talk about tonight?
Yeah, Lorna and Lexi. She
Oh,
She
Yes.
had that. She had that. She went in for her second, for her first doctor's appointment after the doctor's after having a surgery, and she's very sore, and Alexi's doing a great job. But she wanted him to go back be with the other kids because she felt like she could do it. I guess she felt like she could do it by herself, but I don't know. And uh, he didn't end up going back though. I don't think he did. But I think I'm so glad he stayed with her because she wasn't in the shape to be by herself. That's just my
Right.
opinion. After that kind of surgery, and the doctor even said that he needed to stay with her. So I'm glad that he stayed with her, and I hope that that couple is really, really a good couple to me because he got her back just like I got my team's back. So yeah, that's just my opinion about that couple. I'm just so glad he stayed with her instead of leaving.
Right. Yeah. So you said their names were Lauren and Lexi, right?
Lauren and Lexi, yeah.
Okay. Um, I don't really throw this word around too much, but Lexi in this episode was giving me the perfect man, the perfect husband, the perfect father, the perfect friend, the perfect son. He's giving me perfection. He's waiting on this woman, his wife, hand and foot, as a husband should. This is what is expected, but we don't always see this in many cases. But he has such care for his wife Lauren. I thought it was so beautiful. This is the realest couple on this show. At least in my opinion, because Lexi is just like, and Aaron, thank you so much for sending me those pictures of Lexi. It made me look at him at even such a brighter light. When Lexi's son or daughter, I can't remember what, but one of his children fell off the chair, and he immediately went to pick the child up, and I wanted him to say, "Where's your boo boo? Let me kiss it." I wanted to say him to say to say that, but he didn't say that. But anyways, what he did was perfection. The way that he. And I hope that he doesn't do that just for the cameras. I'm assuming
Yeah.
that this is what he is on and off
Yeah.
camera. I don't see him changing
No.
changing up anything. I think that they're really showing us true authenticity. But Lexi is just the perfect man, at least in my opinion. Any woman would be so blessed to have him as a husband and as a father because he's showing himself to be the perfect man, literally the perfect man. I can't say nothing else about it. That's just all he's giving, and I love to see it.
I
Yeah,
love
I
how
do.
they do.
I do agree with that, Jonathan. I think he's probably the most realist couple on this casting for this show, and I'm so happy that he stayed with her, and I do agree with what you said. Think that's what I'm just hoping and praying that she heals heals fast. We know that she's healed now, but I'm hoping that she's happy with her new body, and I hope that continues for her to be happy in her marriage. And I think this marriage is going to last for a very long time.
And Aaron, before you speak, I have to say something really quickly. I saw her head wrapped and stuff like that. I was like, I thought she was just getting lipo and getting fat injected into her butt, but she had a chin operation as well. And I saw the difference on the before and after, and I was like, oh wow, I didn't even notice the before there. So and I cringed a little bit when Lexi said the double chin because it really wasn't much of a double chin. It was just kind of a little bit
Yeah.
of extra chin there, but that's just that's just the nitpicking there from me. But I'm glad that Lauren has gotten the surgeries that she has wanted probably for a long time, and I hope that this makes her happy, and I hope that she doesn't find something else wrong with her that she feels like she needs to fix.
No.
I hope not either, Jonathan. I hope that this is the first and final one. I don't want to see another surgery on the next season with happily ever after. I really don't. I hope that she's happy the way she is, and I hope it stays that way. Um,
Right.
the
I
next
didn't.
couple. Oh, go
Oh,
ahead.
I haven't gone yet, Dustin.
Sorry.
So I didn't mind the double chin comment mostly because I've watched Lexi and Lauren over the years, and even when she's pregnant and she's feeling ugly, he's like, "No, you're the most gorgeous woman alive," and he just fondles over her. So it didn't really bother me because I think the double chin was more like she had said that, so he just
Okay.
or you know I don't know what that's called. He just did the same thing because that's what she called it.
That's just their
And
vocabulary. Yeah.
that's her vocabulary, and he tends to pick up her vocabulary. I've noticed over the years. So
Okay.
if she
Okay.
says something, and I think because this is his second language, that's how he'll phrase it.
Right. Because he
Too.
said snatched more than once in this episode too.
Yeah,
So I think he
Be-
learned a new word and he likes it.
yeah, because she said, "Am I snatched yet?" So then he keeps using it. I've noticed that pattern in their relationship, which I think is so cute.
It
He
is.
adapts to her language, and sometimes it's not the most flattering, but then you get other times when it's so cute. But I think you just got to accept it all because he just picks up whatever she says and really it takes that on. But he
Right.
always thinks she's the most gorgeous woman in the room. And that's what I love about him. She could be 9 months pregnant and she's like, "Why are you kissing on me?" And he's like, "Because you're so gorgeous." And that's what I love about them. They're so cute. And he just thinks he married the perfect woman. And before the surgery, he's going, "But I think you're gorgeous." And she's like, "I don't." And I love that even though he did not want the surgery, he was willing to do whatever she wanted and whatever he thought was best for her mentally. He doesn't just
Right.
look at it the physical stuff. I think he thinks of mentally in the long run for her what is best for her. And I love that about him. And yes,
Hmm.
him taking care of the kids is very cute. Him not knowing how to use the washer did not surprise me because she is so controlling that I cannot see her letting him touch anything that is new in that apartment that is hers. So I was like, no, I can see her being like, no, I have wash going and this is the time because she's so organized with her list. And I
Right.
was like, because he's like, it sounds bad. I don't know how to use the washer. And he's like, dishwasher. And I was like, sure, because Lexi's not letting you touch her new stuff.
Right.
So I think they're cute. I love how supportive he is. I love that the doctor recognized that the mother may not be as protective as Alex is because I think the doctor wanted Lexi, to stay because he's so protective of his wife and he
Right.
wants what's best for her. And he was willing to learn all this stuff and do it right to protect his wife. And I think because he's so protective of her.
And he's extremely attentive. He's
Yeah.
extremely,
Yeah.
extremely attentive. I don't know if I've seen a man
Yeah.
so attentive with his wife on TV before. And I
Yeah.
also think that that's why the doctor wanted Lexi to be the one to take care of her. Because, yes, that's her mother,
Yeah.
but she loves Lauren in a different way. Whereas
Yeah.
Lexi would be able to notice things that are wrong a little bit faster, maybe. And I think he might know her a little bit better than her mother because he's known her as an adult, whereas
Yeah.
her mother has known her, as her full life, but he knows who she is now. And her mother may not be aware of who she necessarily is now because she hasn't spent as much time with her recently as Lexi has. And so I think his attentiveness is what the doctor was seeing in him.
Yeah. I agree with that. Dustin, who did you want to go to next?
The next couple is going to be Michael and Angela. Uh, a lot of things happened with Michael and Angela in this episode, and it was really a different level that we haven't seen on this season yet. And I wanted to get Jonathan's take on the way that Angela acted. She didn't go to the interview because she tried to say that he was hiding something, hiding text message on the phone, and Angela is a very controlling person in my opinion. She wants to be in control, and if she's not in control, then she doesn't. It doesn't go well. I know you've seen it, Jonathan. I know you've seen a bunch of red flags because I did too, and that's how I felt with that couple because I know how Angela is. I've seen Angela on here since whatever season she began, and she's still on there now. And in my opinion, I told Aaron, I said I'm surprised they even brought her back because I didn't think they were going to bring her back. And I'm surprised that TLC would put up with that kind of stuff on their network like that. I wouldn't put up with that because uh, Angela can get to be too much for me, and Michael, she doesn't need to treat Michael like that. She treats Michael like a little like a little kid, but he's not. He's an adult just like everybody else.
Right. I have to take back what I said last week. Last week, I gave my condolences to Michael for being with Angela. I have to take that back because Michael is a willing participant in this particular marriage. Michael wants to be with her. His reasoning for or his intentions for being with her may be up in the air, but he's still with her at the end of the day. At least on this particular program, he is, and so he's I don't know if Michael is participating in the relationship the way that he is, seeming to be so attracted to her, seeming to be so into her the way that he is because he's genuinely into her that way, or he's into her because he has a goal and he wants to reach that goal and get to that goal. I don't know what his intentions are, and I don't know if they really matter because if you're on this show, we're supposed to believe that you're in a genuine, authentic relationship. So I just have to review it from that standpoint.
I think that he's into it because he has a goal, and I think that his goal was to get to America. Yeah, and that's just my opinion on that one. But since he's here, allegedly they are not no longer together. But I'm just gonna say allegedly for the show because they are on the show, and this is what we're recapping. So that's just allegedly part. Yeah, and I think that they are no longer together. But I'm just gonna say allegedly, and we're going to continue on with the recap. Thank you.
Right. No problem, Dustin. I'm thinking along those same lines too, as well, Dustin, that he's only with her because he has a goal in mind. However, they did explain how much they were having intercourse when they first got together. And I'm like, if you're willing to do all of that for this fake relationship, maybe it's not so fake after all. So maybe he really is interested in her in that way. I don't know. I really can't say one way or the other. However, Angela is who Angela is. I will say that she does look good on this season compared to the other times that I've seen her. The weight loss looks great on her. However, her personality has not changed whatsoever, at least not from what I've seen in the past. I was surprised that she blew up so much that he wanted to include the text messages of them arguing and talking about his cheating in his interview with the with whomever he was going to do the interview with. I didn't think that might have been much of a bigger deal, especially when he's doing the interview in his home country. He might know more of what they're looking for while he's doing the interview. So maybe he knows that would be good evidence to show that they are actually in a relationship. That would show that they are actually together. They are genuinely together. And for Angela to blow up the way that she did at him, and his reaction to that was really not much of a reaction at all. He was like, oh, no, I'll just get to the interview. Forget this. You go and do your thing. So maybe that's just how they operate when they get into fisticuffs or whatever the case might be. But I was really surprised that she reacted in such a volatile way with that. And then, thereafter, while he was on his way to his interview, she was like, oh, I should have gone with him and I let myself, get all riled up. And, now if he doesn't get the visa, then I'm going to blame myself. Well, I'm glad that she's aware of her actions. I'm glad that she's aware of how she is. I'm glad that she's aware of what she's doing. So unlike what Rob is showing us that it seems like he's not aware of what he's doing, even though people tell him every single day what he's doing wrong. But Angela sees what she does wrong. She acknowledges it. Whether she's going to change it or not, that's a different story. But at least she's got step one down. She's acknowledging it. And so that's always the first step in change. And so I'm so glad that she's at least in that space and she's mature enough to see the wrong that she has done. But I have a hard time feeling sorry for Michael. I have a really hard time feeling sorry for Michael when
I don't feel sorry for Michael at all.
When you intentionally put yourself in this type of relationship, and which is weird because I feel more sorry for Mahmoud than I do for Michael. But maybe that's because of a culture difference. I don't know what that is, or I don't know if it's because Michael's with Angela. I don't get that with my own thinking. But Michael is in this relationship. He's in it for however long he wants to be in it, and so whatever happens, happens. And he brought it on himself. Whatever happens, but I wish both of them to find true love. I thought it was so interesting when they were on the phone on that FaceTime call with Angela's children and grandchildren, and she was telling them, "Oh, well, I'm bringing your daddy home if he gets this visa," and and that was cringy for me. That was very cringy for me. I, I see nothing. I won't. I can't say I see nothing good. What can I say? I don't see much good in Angela. I would want to stay away from her. Just that's just my personal opinion. She's not an approachable person. And so I wish she were more approachable, and I wish she were more aware of the way that she comes off to the audience. But then she's been on the show for a long time, so she already knows how she comes off to everyone and how she looks to everyone. So if she's seen that, she's gotten the responses and decided not to change, then excuse me, that's her decision. But just for me, for you to be not an approachable person, that takes a lot to not be approachable. And so for Angela to be the way that she is, I'm glad Michael feels as though he can handle it. So if you can handle it, do your thing.
Very true.
I think Angela is the type that's not gonna change. She's been like this for several years, and she's
Right.
not gonna change. She's a very controlling person, like I said before, and she blows up a lot, Jonathan. So this ain't the first time you're gonna see her blow up. This is not the last time you're gonna see her blow up in this season. She blows up a lot against Michael, and I don't feel bad for Michael because he did put himself in this situation, but it is a eye-opening situation to be put on TLC, and I'm surprised that TLC continues to have him on the show.
Yeah, I'll be very tempted to skip their scenes from here on out. I won't do it, but I will be. The temptation is all the way there, y'all. All the way there.
Michelle's with you, Jonathan. She says, I fast forward through Michael and Angela. I could not do it.
I can't blame you, Michelle. I only watch them for the show. Okay.
Yeah, me too. They're hard to watch. My thoughts were pretty simple. I don't want to watch them. I don't have
Yeah,
any other thoughts. It was painful to watch them, and they're both a train wreck. So you know.
agreed. We're going to end on Jasmine and Gino, guys.
Yep. We only have a couple more minutes because Jonathan does have to get to the Light of the Leo, which is at 9 p.m.
Mhm.
Eastern time. Everybody.
Uh,
So, what's everybody's thoughts on Jasmine and
my
Gino?
my thoughts on Jasmine and Gino is I hope that Jasmine decides she wants to have it maybe in the future. But if not, Gino is going to have to adapt on that one. I do feel bad for Gino on this situation because I know he really wants to have a kid, but it takes two people to have a kid together, and if she doesn't want to have one, it ain't going to happen. That's just my thoughts on that situation.
Agreed. I'm glad that Jasmine was able to be truthful with Gino. This is a very important conversation for them to have. I thought it was very standoffish for Gino when Jasmine handed him the coffee. He just took it and turned around and sort of kind of ignored her in a way. At least that's just what I saw in that particular scene. There really wasn't much with Jasmine and Gino besides the fact that she said that she does want to enter into the pageant. I'll say the same thing that I said last week. I hope Jasmine wins because I feel as though if Jasmine loses this pageant, this will not be a good thing for her self-esteem. She might think that she's not good enough when Jasmine, you are everything. At least to me, you are everything. And one last thing, really quickly, when we saw the preview for the next episode, Jasmine said once again, she threw her drink at him. She took off her shoes and she walked off and said that she doesn't want to be with him anymore. Jasmine's declarations of leaving Gino are so anticlimactic because we know that she will never follow through on it. And so my thing is when women, and I've had this conversation before, when women throw up in their man's face that they're going to leave them, they typically don't mean it. Typically they don't mean it because they just use that as a tool to either get some attention or to get some reciprocity or to get something out of their men that they're not getting otherwise. So they want to give them a consequence, although it's not an actual consequence because they don't follow through, but they want to give them a consequence to get a reaction or to get some type of effect or change out of their partner. And that never works. Never works.
My thoughts on Jasmine and Gino. I actually thought the coffee thing was because he was still hurt and they're on vacation, so he's like You can't walk away, have your space to deal with it and go through the emotional, almost grieving of a child they don't have.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt bad for him in that moment because you still have to be on vacation with your wife, who you really would like to have some space from, but you're at a friend's house, so you have to kind of be in the same room. So I think he did the best he could. We know he's not the most mature, so at least he wasn't yelling.
Yeah.
So and then he did listen to Jasmine out for her reasonings for it. He didn't just do what he's done in the past and walk away or just like pretend like he's listening while he's mumbling under his breath. He really
Right.
did listen this time, unlike the last season with the wedding and stuff. He did listen and then he understood and he said, well, that's reasonable. And I think it shows growth in both the relationships because she's never been calm enough to explain herself and he's
Mm.
never been calm enough to listen. So I thought it showed growth for both of them in that scene. And I was proud of both of them because I still love them both.
I was so proud to see them grow. Aaron, I think that you're right on a nail on the head because I see the growth, but I also see the emotional toll that it took on Gino, and I feel so bad for him. And I don't know if it's gonna work out, and I hope it does, but I don't know if it's gonna work out.
Hey, Bianca, if I didn't say it earlier.
You did.
Oh, okay. All right.
But I'm sure Bianca loves it because I like it.
All right. Is that you? Is that it, you guys?
Yep. Anybody want to give any final thoughts?
I'm nervous about seeing Ashley and Manuel next week.
I
Um,
am too. I think
I
they're.
I
Go ahead.
don't know if Ashley's going to take accountability, whereas that person she was talking to asked her, well, did you tell him what the issue was? And we didn't really hear an answer from Ashley in that moment. So Ashley, to me, is a very immature woman. And so I think that's what Manuel is always laughing at. You know, when they were having that confrontation in the previous episode, he was really like laughing and you know, he didn't take it seriously whatsoever. He doesn't take Ashley seriously because she's immature. So I'm nervous about seeing them next week, but I hope we get some resolution next week out of
Uh,
somebody.
I hope we get some resolution out of Ashley and Manuel, but I think that it's going to be a roller coaster next week when we have this recap next week. I think it's going to be a roller coaster because I don't think that Ashley's ever going to take accountability for what she's
No.
doing, but she's always going to put it on Manuel to take accountability, but she ain't never going to do it herself, and that's just my opinion on that one. And everybody don't have to agree with it, but that's just my opinion, and that's how I feel. Honestly, I don't think she's ever going to give uh, ever going to take her accountability on her side. But she always wants Manuel to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Lady Virgo, I have no idea what your comment was for Jonathan's hair, but I'm sure it was wonderful. And if I had not missed it, I'm sorry. And everybody loves your hair, Jonathan. My final thoughts
Thank
are
you guys so much.
please check out Real Talk Live with Bishop Kimbrough this Wednesday at 6:30. Show him some love and say hi from all of us on Dinah J Recap when you go over and say hi to him. And thank you everybody for coming. Have a great night.
Bye, you guys.
Bye.
Well, Jonathan, thank you for being here.
No problem, Justin. Love y'all.